Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Thank you, Sherry McQueen. Lord bless you. At least y'all missed all the bitching and moaning about my cold. Consider yourself anointed. I was telling you guys, oh my God, we have colds, horrible colds. It was 72 degrees just a few days ago here in Chicago. And then 27 degrees. Brian caught a cold. When you get married, they mean that. That's what I was doing with this. I was talking about the baby, Sade. Now, they named her Sade, but we know, what was the band's name in the 80s? Spelled the same way. Sade. That's how we said it. So every time, how's baby Sade? That's not her name. I'm like, how do you unmemorize something that you've said that way for decades? Especially when you have lava rock for brain matter. Well, anyway, I'm sure I will if I want to see her, because if I don't call her by her name, they probably won't bring her around much, and I don't want that. So anyway, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. A lot of people have reported, I love you, Sherry McQueen. A lot of people have reported going through all kinds of things. Now, today is April Fool's Day. April 1st. Yeah, you missed that part too. I tried my first April Fool's gag on Brian, my husband, this morning. He was already ready for me. And usually when that happens, I stop because it's downhill from there. It's just depressing. I used to be the king of April Fool's pranks. I am not kidding. The king with a capital K. What happened, right? Oh my goodness. I came up with some doozies. Woo-wee. One thing I learned, though, in my years as king of the April Fool's pranks, whatever you do, don't use Oprah in there. People will threaten to beat your butt if you mess with, because one time I was like, well, one year I had Oprah was pregnant, right? And they believed it. That was a good one. Whose is it? Right? I said, Gail's. Right? But yeah, this year, what did I try? I tried something lame. That's why I failed. So anyway, it's April 1st. My guest is not here. It was Phil Herrington. You saw the post, the advertising, the connector. So whenever this happens, I don't make assumptions. Pretend I'm in Mexico visiting. We have a house there. So I learned many years ago to, when you don't understand something, just nod and smile. For agreements. Don't make assumptions. Combine that with nodding and smiling. And then, honestly, also in all seriousness, I say a little prayer. Because remember the last time the guest was here, something had really happened. And so we want to send out some energy, a prayer, if you will, to Phil Herrington, that all is well. I'm singing Jesus Loves Me in my head. So my prayer will stick. Well, because, you can put a lot into this. And now we're syndicated. So, but things do happen. And we're going to talk about that. Today, it's just you and I. And I'm good with it. If you guys are good with it, I'm good with it. Today is April 1st, which, more importantly for me as a business owner, today is the beginning of Q2. There are only 4 in a year. Can I eat? Well, that's because I don't get a break to listen to somebody. So, Update. Metabolic balance. It is 1 month since I hit my goal. Didn't that go fast? I started in January on the 4th at 198.6. I went 2 months and then I weighed in. You guys saw the pictures. And today I am holding steady at 164.7, something like that. Yeah. It's great when the number doesn't stick because it means it's not chasing you. And I'll say this. Hi, Robert. Hi, Lori. Hi, Sherry. I love you guys. The main thing about this is I feel so much better. I am not kidding you. Granted, it is very exciting when the clothes that were stretching, and they were already stretch material, most of them, are falling off now. But I'm really, what Dr. Chopra told me? Sanjeev Chopra, I talked to him yesterday, Deepak's brother. He and I are doing a tour
late spring, early summer. It's the Happiness Tour, and it's designed for corporate America. And thank you, Brad Gorman, our PR consultant that is working with us on that. So I'll be going to Boston sometime in April, or what is it, April? I have a lot in April. Well, I'll be going to Boston, let's put it there, to work with him. But you know what he told me when he says, well, how's your weight thing going? And I told him, he goes, man, what was the equation? You guys need to know this. He said, do you know how much weight you just took off your knees? And I was like, no. And he goes, tell everybody this. And you know, Sanjeev Chopra, he is the, and let me, you guys that are commenting, you know, I love you dearly, and you're like family to Brian and I. And so I want to tell you this, if you're ever in a situation with anything on the inside of your body in here, right? Your guts, and you're not getting anywhere with whomever you're taking it to, your primary urgent care, wherever, call me. 4 or 5 people in my sacred circle I've referred to Sanjeev. When he calls there, they know his name. They come running. They get it right. He can diagnose stuff. Do you know he was in Singapore last year, I think around June, speaking. 700 hepatologists, liver specialists from around the world were there. They put him on the stage and pitted him against AI. They had 6 different cases, liver cases that needed to be diagnosed. And they pitted him against the AI to see who could do it the quickest and the most accurately. Sanjeev Chopra beat the AI 6 times out of 6 times. I'm just saying. And man, he has helped us. Hold on. I want to find out this. He said, how do I not know this? And I have a knee replacement that's 7 years old. They never told me when I lost weight or when I gained weight. Call has been doggone it. I just want to hold on. I'm going to just say, hey, Sanjeev, I'm on my show. Can you text me what's that equation for the knees? When we lose weight, it takes how much pressure off? It's something times something. Can you email it so I mean, text it so I can tell the audience? Thank you. Okay, we'll see what comes through. So anyway, I think he said it was like 400 and some pounds that I had removed from my knees. And I'll tell you this, I can't be eating because I'm smacking, and you guys are sitting there watching me too. That's not fair. Unless you're eating too. Are you eating? Are you having breakfast? Put it in the comments. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. Couldn't hear me. Oh, sign language. She put it here. Good morning, Robert. April's Fool. LOL. Good morning, Lauren. There we go. So I'll be 63. Not far from now, July 4th to be exact. And can we talk about aging gracefully? Can we? Because if I'm not wrong, originally that phrase, that terminology was pretty much referring to the way you're, you know, oh, she doesn't have any wrinkles. Oh, you look so young. What do you think aging gracefully means or should mean? And determine which one you're going for. It means da-da-da, or it should mean da-da-da. I'm going to Google it. This is a big thing. Because, and you know what? I bet you anything. 50 years from now, because of AI, people are going to start living, I think, 120. Now, I will say this. Remember I went to Huntsville, Alabama a few weeks ago? And I saw my 3rd foster mother, Mrs. Valentine, Allie Valentine, who was also my school counselor when I went into care. I had known her most of my life. She went to our church. She's 99 years old. 99. And I call her almost every Sunday. And I pick her brains on She's sharp as a whip. She still drives 2 hours back and forth to her daughter's houses down there. She's her daughter is in Huntsville. She's actually in Tennessee, Chattanooga. She drives back and forth a couple times a week. She plays piano for 2 churches on the weekend, a church on Saturday and a church on Sunday. She does all her own shopping, and she has her own apartment. Now it's beneath her daughter's house in Chattanooga, but still, because she has 2 daughters. But she's told me great tips. So, like, here's one. Do you know about this? Wait a minute. What's it called? Flakes. Oh, don't make me run upstairs and get it. What are they? It tastes like cheese. Oh my goodness. You sprinkle it. I'm gonna find out. It's upstairs. I have some. Oh my goodness. I'm blanking. Anyway, it's full of B12 and yeast flakes. There it is. Thank you. Woo! Came rushing back in. Senior moment averted. Yeast flakes. Did you guys know about this? I had no idea. Never heard of them till she told me. I ordered it off of Amazon. It was very inexpensive, like $7 for a bag. It does taste like cheese. It says it right on the package. See, we have chest colds. Thank you, Brian. But you sprinkle it on stuff, right? It replaces salt. It's just wonderful. And did you know that over 90% of the foods we eat have no vitamin B12 at all? And so you need that. That was one of her things. She said, I've been using yeast flakes for about 70 years. They used to come in a jar, apparently. I wonder if that's what my grandma was trying to do with wheat germ. Remember that? Wheat germ? I remember that was in a jar. But anyway, so that's one thing. Kale is another thing that she is a high level champion of. She eats kale at least 3 times a week. When I lived at her house, oh my goodness. First thing she did, you guys, was she gave me a tour of the kitchen. So she was talking my language, right? I'm a kid. She goes, do you cook? And I remember I was like, kind of, because what was I able to cook at 9? Jiffy Pop. I can make cereal, sandwiches. But anyway, she goes, so let's start. I'm going to show you where our snack drawer is. That's exactly how I responded. I said, I'm going to love it here. And then she opened it, the snack drawer. I'm like, can you move that healthy stuff out of the way? So where are the snacks? Stuff I'd never heard of. Believe it or not. I had never heard of it. Banana chips. Yogurt covered something. I don't know, because sesame seed sticks. I remember it. Sesame seeds, almonds. These were the snacks. I'm like, where are the barbecue chips? Where are the Doritos? Where are the Twinkies? Where are the Little Debbies? Where are the Ho-Hos? Where are the Oreos? Not in that house. So anyway, amazingly enough, I think it was within a month. I wasn't even in my head about the things I just mentioned, and was tearing up the stuff in that snack drawer. It was delicious. And to this day, I still buy a few of those items. So thank you, Mrs. Valentine. So anyway, she shares things with me. I'll tell you the toughest thing about talking to a person once a week that is 99 years old. Lori Whitney says, getting natural gray highlights in our hair. She goes, even below the belt. Oh my Lord. I remember when that gray hair started in the pubic area. We're just gonna keep it real. I was like, I was devastated. I just had that last week. I have one in an eyebrow. And let's just talk about this. Why is it as you get older, this hair's growing here? And I found one that was like, it looked like it was 5 inches. I don't know. Coming out. It was way out here. Wait, this way. Not kidding. A hair just hanging out there. Somebody's hair stuck on me. It wasn't stuck. It was rooted in me. I was devastated again. At this point, you would think we wouldn't be surprised, right? Yeah. Right, Lori Whitney, about the gray hair. Thanks for that triggering moment. Maybe we should change the subject. I'm just kidding. Remember when you're easy bake oven, Lauren. Remember your easy, yes, baking, yes. And I did. That was, you remember that story, Lori? When I fought for the easy bake oven and won? Took a couple years. But boy, I was a freedom fighter even then. So I was talking about one of the most difficult aspects. I don't know if you've ever had a close relationship with someone that age. Hey, if an octogenarian, here's my ADHD, you guys. If an octogenarian is 80, what's a 90-year-old? What's that? What comes after octa? Sherry McQueen? Oh, and wait till I tell you who's here this week. You guys, Thursday. Wait, remind me, somebody in the chat before we leave, remind me to tell you who is here Thursday. I'll give you a hint. He is connected to a major component. I'm putting it together now without giving away. A component, scratch that because it's a person. He is connected to a prominent person from one of your favorite game shows ever. So you know that cuts it down because, well, maybe for me, it had to be Bob Barker because, I know Drew, no offense, but Bob will always be my host of Price is Right. Sorry. Bob Eubanks, the Newlywed Game. Remember him? He was so nice. Who is that? Wait a minute. Oh, Monty Hall. Who can forget Monty Hall? Oh, I loved Monty Hall. That's when Let's Make a Deal was good. I don't know what they're doing now. That little thing where they're all spread out. There's hardly anybody there. Excuse me. Ooh, down in here. A couple more days, it'll be gone. Hi, Robert. Surprised? What do you mean? Surprised by what? Okay, so here's another thing. Here's back to Mrs. Valentine. I think we're gonna come back to the game shows. I'm gonna write myself a note because I'm liking that. Game shows. Oh, so by the way, back to ADHD. Sit down. Jesus, up there running around. Did I already tell you? I maintained. Yes, I maintained. No, about reaching 90? No, 99. She's 99. She'll be 100 next year in January. And you know what I started to do? Because I got her a gift card, $100 gift card. I started to get a $99 gift card, but then I said, oh, it'd be better if I just get 99 ones. And then somebody said, don't you dare make that woman count out 99 ones. I said, I'm not going to tell you what I said, but it was a comment that referred to being a stripper. Anyway, Brian said, no, absolutely not. He has executive decisions around here. So that was that. Anyway, the hardest part is when it seems like every month she has a funeral. She drives to them wherever they're at. And she said to me a few weeks back, because the funeral that she just went to last week, so I talked to her Sunday. She went last week sometime. But when I was down there, she was waiting to hear when it was going to be. And that was like 4 weeks ago. I don't know why they held it that long. But anyway, she said, I have to constantly update the borders to the world of memories. I'd never heard anything like that. She said, I have to update the borders of my memories. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, I realized maybe 10 years ago. Started in my late 80s, she said, where I would bring up things from the past that came flying in that everybody would know that were my peers. And then I realized none of them were still alive. Wow. She goes, I have memories that no one, or very few around me anyway, can relate to. So when we think about longevity, which is a hot topic right now, I mean, come on, can you imagine? She had 13 siblings, right? There's only 2 left, her and her sister Patricia. And I know Patricia. I knew Patricia when I knew Patricia before. Oh my God, talk about can sing, and Mrs. Valentine would play for her. Patricia, Lord Jesus, hoogly moogly. Oh my God, when she would sing at our church, no kidding. I don't know, 20 minutes before church even began, the church would be full. By the time the 11 o'clock service would start, we were Seventh-day Adventists. So by the time the 11 o'clock service would start and they knew Pat was going to sing, Patricia, standing room only. Standing room only. She was that great. Oh my God. I wish I had a recording. She would sing and you'd feel like you were lifted straight into the arms of God. I'm not kidding. Wow. And it still feels like this. How old am I? More than 50 years ago, 55 years ago, 55, 56, 57 years ago. No, other way. 53. Yes, I count on my fingers. Public school. Yeah, what do you think? Hey, let's do this. Have you ever thought about what age will be the final age for you and what age you would like to grow old to? Latera Wise, good morning. The topic is aging gracefully, Latera, because my guest didn't show. So we are the show. We're just fellowshipping today, and I'm good with it. I believe in divine timing. So I'm caught up. I mean, I'm married now, so I want to live longer, but I don't want to outlive him. And we used to argue about that all the time. Who was going to go first? Like we know. But I told her. Okay, I used to go, you'll see. I finally had to break it down and tell Brian. He believes me now. But I had to tell him, no, I know pretty much on authority that I will be going first. He goes, how would you know that? I said, because it was in my deal. What deal? I literally made a deal with God because I had been hurt. I'm choosing my words, hopefully wisely. I had been hurt, in my opinion, at the time. I had been hurt to an incomprehensible level. That's the best way I can put it. I had been hurt to the depth of an incomprehensible level. And I did not want a connection with anything, or any person at least, that made me feel good, loved. I want more of this. This is perfect. This is what I've been looking for. I didn't want it because I had believed myself into believing that they're just going to die and leave me. And so I'll never forget it. I had one relationship in my adult life before Brian, and it was Jeremiah, and I was 22 years old. And it was a 6-month relationship, and that was it. And I remember I made a pact with God. I said, listen, I would rather spend the last 5 minutes of this journey with my everything than this entire journey with just anything. I said it. Now, at the time, it sounded like an honorable platform, one that I could fully embrace and be patient within. But around 40, I was like, okay, hold up. You took that shit seriously, didn't you? Clearly. That's what I said. We talk like that to each other. I don't know how you guys talk, but that's how we talk. We talk like just like that. Come as you are. That's what they said. I'm telling you, I believe that's 90% of why my relationship with spiritual is what it is. See, you got to pay attention. God doesn't put promises and things. He doesn't dangle carrots. He created them. Why would he dangle them? Right? So, when I met Brian, you guys know that story, right? First day I met him, I saw the aura. Never seen one since. Seriously. Saw the aura. So much so, he was standing right in front of me because he had parked a block away because there was only parking for the people that lived there. And so I had to go outside and guide him in from that side street, right? He was walking towards me. And I'm like, is that light? Way down there. He was way at the other end of the block. And as he got closer, it did not change. And I'm going like, what's wrong with my eyes? You know, and then he's standing 2 feet in front of me. And I'm still like this. Yeah. Okay, so I thought we could, I hope you're hungry. Oh, and he's standing right there. I hung up, so it really happened. Ask him. I even said, you go on in. The door's open. It's right there. You go. He goes, but it's your house. I was like, but you first. As soon as he turned around, I was doing this. This is him. I didn't even know they were real. I didn't. You hear stuff, you read stuff, but auras, I know now. So anyway, fast forward 5 hours later. We've had lamb chops. I've done everything but a tap dance routine. I'm not kidding. I was in the studio with my album that time, back then, and I was playing everything that we had already. I was showing him my lyric book. This is a song. I got 2 more to do, and the album is finished. And da 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 da. And I swear, I didn't want it to end. And then I heard God say, I said it in my spirit, because he said, well, I got to get going. He was leaving this house. He had come from this house on his way to the lake house that he has in Michigan. And he passed through my town. That's how we met. And Tammy, who was here, the baby's grandmother that you saw, a little Sade, Tammy is the one. Yes, Robert, turn it around. I thank you for that. That's the title of the album. And a song on there. Yeah, about turning your life around. Oh, Robert, you almost made me cry. By putting it up there. It's amazing how you think the stuff you put out, nobody's paying attention to. Y'all ever feel that way? Well, you think nobody's getting it, but you keep putting it out anyway, right? Moments like that right there. Moments like that right there. I can't even begin to tell you how I did not see that coming. Take it off the screen before I lose it. Wow. I wish I had one of them church fans right about now. Here's one of my husband's favorite comments or phrases. I had never heard that either. Anyone use it. I can't believe I'm verklempt. Spell that. Verklempt? Oh, I'm verklempt. First time he said that, I was like, who are you? Right? But back to Brian. The time had come for him to go because he wanted to get to that house. He had to open it up and stuff. He says, before it gets dark. I said, okay. And every time he moved, we laugh about this to this day. Every time he moved to kind of move towards the door, I stepped in front of him. Where you going? I'm not kidding. And if I would have known how to tap dance or soft shoe, I would have broke into a routine. Hold on, I got one more for you. How I love you, man. Something. Start spreading the news. I would have done anything. Because And that's how I was reacting, right? But then in my head, I said, oh, please, God, I'll never forget it. I said, oh, please, God, I don't know what this feeling is, but I don't ever want it to end. That's what I said. And then God said, and you don't, and it doesn't have to. Cue Jeff Bridges. I mean, not Jeff Bridges. Gary Coleman. What you talking about, Willis? That's pretty much how it went down. I was like, what? What do you mean it doesn't have to? What did you ask me? What did you ask me for? I said, you mean all those decades ago? God don't forget shit. Seriously, we can talk that way. I know Andrew's here, but this is how I'm going verbatim. I don't change a word. I don't change a syllable of the truth of my origin story or any part of it if I can help it. No, ain't none of that dragging that stuff. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. Ain't none of us innocent. So anyway, and come as you are. And I like to prove that to people. That's what I said. That's how I said it. That was the tone in which I used. Because you know what? It's us. We're the ones who don't know grace. That's why you get all messed up. We're the ones who take things personally. You can't even text somebody and accidentally hit the cap thing. And then 4 of the words were capital. Who you yelling at? You ain't heard a word come out of my mouth. That's a text. How I'm yelling. See how they lead us? Right. That's grooming. That's grooming. So anyway, God said, you don't have to. And I said, you mean? He said, exactly. Do you even remember what you requested? I sure did. I said, yeah. I said, I wanted someone that I could spend all of my life. Even if it's the last 5 minutes, if I met him 5 minutes before I left this world, I would rather have that 5 minutes than a whole lifetime with just anything. I figured at that point, what do I got to lose? Right. And I knew the answer was there. So back to the original point about who was going to go first. I broke it down to Brian probably about 2 months ago. I said, honey, you can quit rebutting when I say I'm going first. But you don't. I said, I do. It's in my contract. What contract? That's what he said. I said, I told God, I don't want anybody. I want to be alone. If I have to have someone and they go first. 2 mothers? I don't know about you, but I couldn't do it. And you know what? Listen to this. I'm being vulnerable and transparent. Yesterday, I was triggered because Tammy's leaving, the grandmother of the baby. She wasn't gone 10 minutes. I was on a podcast. I came upstairs from the podcast, and Brian says, he had texted me, did you get my text? I was like, oh, I haven't looked at my phone. I was on the podcast. He said, my mother's on life support in the emergency room. My father texted. She has dialysis 3 times a week, right? And she suffered from juvenile diabetes since she was a juvenile, diabetes, and she contracted COVID. Now, remember, Brian was there just last week for his best friend from grade school. His mother passed. So he's getting triggered because he was just at Tracy's mother's funeral a week ago, yesterday. And Brian's mother contracted COVID. He found out a day after he got back. And then he had a cold when he went, the same one he gave me. So he thought he had given her COVID and she was on life support and he was going to be responsible for killing her. So he had that. But then comes my mess swooping in because I have had a pact probably 12 years ago before I met Brian. I had met a lady when I was in Michigan. I was doing the Herbalife thing, right? Transforming bodies, the fitness thing. I did fitness camps in the park free for people. And there was an elderly woman who would come and she needed somebody to cut her grass once a week. And so I started going over. She had 2 daughters. They didn't live in this state, no sons. And she reminded me of my mom, Lucille. which I thought was a good thing. She was 4 blocks away from my mom's house. And so I started hanging out. Every time I come over there, she'd set the table just for me. And she'd make this beautiful lunch. And you know how old elderly women will do. And everything's in cute little, you see what I mean? Cute little things and garnishes and just so much love poured into it. Hi, Adam Duvall. And then it dawned on me, I can't do this. She's not going to live forever. I can't lose. And it was that last lunch. I didn't even finish the lunch. I'm so ashamed. I'm not kidding. I'm really ashamed that I did it that way because she sent me so many text messages and left me voice mails. I didn't know how to tell her that. How do you tell somebody, I can't hang out with you anymore because you're going to die. I got up. She was on a phone call somewhere in her house. And I just left. Half my lunch was eaten. And I cleaned my plates every week. Trust that. I think about her often. When I'm in that area, I've been tempted to drive by her house and I just can't summon the courage. So I had not planned on this thing flying in. It hit me in the back of the head like a boomerang was thrown at me, where I was like, and I shut down. Brian was like, what's wrong? Nothing. He was like, what just came over you? You know, he's a therapist, right? So ain't no getting away. He goes, honey, no. He put his hand on me. He goes, what's wrong? And I told him, I said, I just realized your mom is another mom. When she goes, I will have lost 3 moms. Who does that? See? But then here comes God with grace. Lauren. She's number 23. There are 22 others. You've lost more. You just didn't realize it. But you did not lose the distance that marks your experience with them. You did not lose the purpose, that role that I assigned each of them in your journey. All of the things that matter are still with you. Apply that here and moving forward. So aging gracefully. I think talking about things like this is important. I recently, sound off if this has happened for you. This is new for me. In the last 2 months, I get downloads. I have literally gotten 2. They stand out because they had never happened before. Let me mute so I can blow. Hold on. Okay, thank you for that. I've literally in the last 2 months had downloads for 2 people. And when I say downloads, I mean they come through to go there. They don't come through just for me to know and store it. Sometimes I have to hold on to it until they take the gag order away, because when it's time to know, it means it's time to grow. And what that means, and do this. That's why it was like, oh, I learned too late. No, you didn't. I wish I had known this earlier. No, you don't. It's need to know. We find out things. God presents them to us when it's time. So it's need to know when it's time to grow. And the reason it said do this is because in that divine moment, it's an intersection. When you need to know something that is pivotal in your journey, need to know because it's time to grow, and then turn your hands like this. Why is that so important? Because it represents, this is what I heard. To the left, all the ancestors in your bloodline that have already gone. And all your ancestors headed to this very spot, Earth, from the future. It is in those moments, know this, that every single one of them pours their prayers directly into our journeys. Powerful, right? Very much so. So, I've had 2 downloads that include some of, okay, you're going to do this and look out for that. And then I saw they were gone. I saw my friend Allison, she had started okay, can I tell you what it was? We were at an event, right? And I had been on Allison. I was like, Allison, I think you're supposed to coach with me. And she's a good friend. She was at my very first event in Las Vegas in 2017, the Authority Makers Boot Camp. And that's the one, you guys know that story, where I partnered with a marketer and they sold their spots to people. And it was the most non-integral, out of alignment. It was like driving in a car that was upside down and thinking you was going to go somewhere. Didn't even know they existed. It was my first, and because I was backstage, I heard the negotiations. I saw those speakers and book publishers and whatever they were selling, because that's what they bought the space for. My space, because I already had established the model for my coaching, and it is, you do the work, I'm going to provide the stages for you to apply it, right? And I still live by that premise today. That's my model. That's why Power Week Symposium. Hi, Charles. Glad you could get here. That's why all the key roles are filled by people that are in this coaching family. So anyway, they're back. Literally, I heard this one. I promise. I ain't going to say the name, but this is what I heard. See her in the red dress? Oh, hi. Get it, baby. Hi, Sadie. She said, this one in the red dress, don't even waste your time. She literally said this, and I quote, she ain't got a pot to piss in. She borrowed money from her sister for that dress she's wearing. Wasted 7 minutes on her. I was livid. And then when they finished poaching out there, they started working on, well, this one, I can't say they, this one in particular. And that's when I almost caught a case. Cutie Isley Brothers, you're going to make me catch a case up in here. It was Tucker Bearden. Y'all know Tucker. Ask him. Trying to lure Tucker away from me. And let me just say this. That person literally months later succeeded. Convinced Tucker to move all the way to the state he was in. I don't want to give any clues away. And then when he had used him up, he kicked him out 4 o'clock in the morning and put him on the street. And who do you think Tucker called? Aging gracefully. See, the younger version of me, I would have been like, first of all, you wouldn't have been able to call because I'd have blocked your ass when you jumped ship. But Grace, I hadn't even known. Robert says he knows who it is. I bet you do. I did not even these are the moments. This is the part about aging gracefully. Love it. Is when I thought I was still that person, and then something happens. See, it's never about just one thing. God will give you opportunities to show you how you've grown. Need to know when it's time to grow. Right? And I grew. It was painful when I heard what happened. I was angry at this person for doing this to Tucker, or just having the capacity to, in the name of the work. But it was time for me to grow. And why did it hurt? Well, they're not called growing tickles now, are they? That's how you know you're onto something. It hurts. It's a growing pain. And if you remember, the caveat of that experience for me was on the plane, leaving Las Vegas, sitting next to Brian, this pair of headphones right here. I said, I'm putting on these headphones, Brian, and I'm not coming from underneath them until they give me at least a thimbleful of spiritual Listerine so I can get this nasty ass taste out of my mouth, off my spirit. I was adamant. I need to know it was time to grow. I had no idea that right there was going to be a non-negotiable for me or anyone in my sacred circle. None of the people that coach with me dare set foot on a stage where there's pay to play, because people pay to do what I saw those people do, whether you realize it or not. So know this, people. When you're in audiences, find out before. Act like you want to be a speaker, and see if they sell space. If they sell space, run. God brought that into my experience at the very beginning. That was my first event. Guess what the thimble full of Listerine contained? About 40 minutes later, excuse me, we were just halfway to Chicago from Las Vegas. I whipped those headphones off and I looked at Brian and said, they gave it to me. He said, what? I said, they gave it to me. What is it? I said, I don't know. It's an event and I don't know what it looks like. They didn't show me that yet, but they told me the name of it. He goes, what's the name? They said to call it the Power of We Symposium. And that was that. See, sometimes God will place us in situations with people and things that we would go, what good can I learn? What can happen? What good can I take from this? But if you're patient and if you believe that God doesn't make mistakes, he just does that shit to keep the journey interesting. He says, sometimes I put you in those situations, Lauren, so you have an unforgettable, an undeniable, an unrefutable example of what I better never see you become. And that's all it took. The rule is set. You don't believe me? 2 people that have coached with me. I gave them a grace period. You do it once, okay. It ain't okay, but I'm going to let you slide. Do it again. Have an event where it's pay to play. We were all going to Miami a couple years ago when we did the mastermind down there to an event of a rock star. We found out that week. People were on that stage and they paid to be there. Everyone, there were 8 of us. We had a Zoom call with the other rock star and they went through. It felt like being on Shark Tank. They all said, I almost said the person's name. So-and-so, because you know how we all feel about this pay to play thing and what it represents. For that reason and that reason alone, nothing personal, but I am out. We already had our tickets. So what we did was we canceled our hotel reservations. We rented an Airbnb mansion. We put it on Eventbrite and we staged our own mastermind. And don't you know, listen to this, it's the truth. That event had 38 speakers after we were cut. We saw a picture of everybody at the end and somebody we know was there. They took a picture. They had 2 people that were not speakers. Wait a minute. I ain't finished. We put it on Eventbrite on Monday. Our thing was on Saturday. We had 2 people. We had 6 people that came that weren't rock stars. 2 of those 6 people flew all the way from Peru. They found us. Ask anybody that was there. They found us on Eventbrite and came all the way to Miami from Peru. You know why? It wasn't about the size of the event, how much money was invested in it. It had nothing to do with the Airbnb. It had to do with the calorie count and the nutritious content and the healing content and the powerful truth within our content. That's why they came. Again, how could I have known that would happen, that was even possible? Because I didn't until it was need to know, because it's time to grow. Yeah, it hurt us, but we were growing. So we would continue knowing what we need to know to lock it in, our birthright, to be of service, and to keep showing others what we know to be true. So today I want to commission you. As we move into Q2, realign yourself with your own covenants, redefine your own definitions, set your intentions, and then come back up and create the definition of the purpose, your why. Do those 2 things and just watch what happens. You guys have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, Rick Salmeron is here. He is a financial independent person. I just loved him. I don't usually bring those kinds of guests on, but this guy's different. And you're going to find out why when you show up tomorrow. Bring your money questions. And then the surprise guest on Thursday is Chip White. He is the brother of Vanna White from Wheel of Fortune. And I am so excited. He has a podcast called Relatively Famous, right? Because he was always in Vanna's shadows. Wait till you hear about that journey, that and more. And then Friday, DJ Jager is here. Wait, this is a young woman. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to be impressed with her too. So God bless you. God keep you. May everything that takes you to a higher level walk before you, stand beside you, and cover the rear behind us. Because as humans, there's always going to be something we don't see coming. But we don't have to worry about it because we've got you know what. Take it with you. Have a great day and be the blessing you'd like to see. I hope to see you tomorrow morning. Now get out of here. Don't slam my screen door on the way out. And remember, Dr. Lauren absolutely loves you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you give